The first thing is something like this handheld roller. I used this in the beginning of my workouts and often at the end or on rest days in areas around my knee, for example, my quads, my hamstrings, my lower back, and my calves, to try to loosen up those muscles and also as part of my warm-up. Next is this stretching strap. So you'll see that I used other pieces of equipment for this before, but having a dedicated strap that's meant for it is really nice because it was sturdy and also had these loops that I could put my feet in. But I used this strap to stretch out my leg, which was really good for stretching out my hamstrings, my quads, but also for working on range of motion in general. It's really handy to have something like this when you're alone working on range of motion and you don't have someone. Next up is a yoga mat. It's super helpful to have a yoga mat when doing exercises at home so that you don't have your knees on the hard ground and you just can create a little workout space anywhere by having a little yoga mat. I use this for stretching, working on range of motion, doing various exercises, and a lot more throughout my recovery. So yeah, next is something I didn't use till a little bit later in my recovery, and that is this blood flow restriction strap. I would wrap it on my upper quad and wear it during my exercises, and it would restrict the blood flow going to my quad, which would help me get more effect out of doing exercises with lighter weights or less repetitions. So this was a way to help work on my strength without irritating my knee as much. So it became really critical for me, especially around the 6 to 8 month mark. Another must-have is a small resistance band. I would often put those around my ankles or my feet and use them for various walks, and later in my recovery that became part of my warm-up, but early on that was a bit of my strengthening. And you can also wrap them around your knee and do various motions. You can use them for upper body exercises as well. They're just really nice, diverse piece of equipment to have, and you can of course have a set that has varying resistance levels, which is great for progressing. They're also really easy to travel with, so when I've had to get workouts in on the go, I've brought these before. And there's just a ton you can do with them. If you want to see a bunch of the exercises full body that you can do with just a little band like this, let me know. Along that same vein, we have longer, bigger exercise bands, and you can see for example, this one offers resistance up to 30 kilograms. So that's pretty heavy. So I have a set of a few different resistance levels, but again, these are just super great to be able to do tons of different exercises with, all from the comfort of your home. Really small, don't take up space or weight, easy to travel with, and again, you can use them for a full body workout. So I have tons of exercises that I do with these. If you want to see ones that I do now or that I did throughout my recovery, just let me know and I'd be happy to show you. That helps me out a lot was just a standard kind of yoga ball, exercise ball. And there's so much you can do with this. I used it early on to help me with range of motion, used it for a ton of hamstring exercises, can use it for some inner thigh exercises, core exercises. There's just a lot to do with it. Again, it's also lightweight. It's easy to transport. You just take the air out and then it folds up really small. And they're inexpensive, so it's a really good tool, and it's something I used a lot in physical therapy, so then I was able to repeat a lot of those exercises at home because I have this. But definitely not least is weights. I absolutely love these weights. They are from Bowflex, and as you can see, they're adjustable, so I can choose how much they weigh, set both sides, and just pick it up. So this one's set to 10. When I pick it up, you can see the additional weights there. And then I could put it back and adjust it again. So each one can be different or they can be both the same. But as you can see, they don't take up a ton of space. They go all the way up to 55 pounds. And the reality is that to make progress with your ACL recovery, you need to increase your resistance. So having access to at least a few dumbbells is really helpful. An adjustable option like this is great, but these specifically are very expensive. There are other alternatives that are similar that cost less. So I can put some options below of different price points, because I know not everyone's gonna be able to afford to get hundreds of dollars worth of these type of weights, but I really do think it's worth investing a little bit in getting a few weights to use, especially if you don't have access to a gym or whatnot, because you really do need to be using weights throughout your recovery to put on that muscle and that strength and get that all back. So I found it really, really helpful to have access to some weights at home, even though I did go to the gym.